Hello, it's Who time, and earlier than expected, we're discussing the B&M sets for 2023. Some new info has been revealed by the usual source on the Facebook group B&M Doctor Who Action Figure News and Information Array. The head of the group is a B&M employee, and he has got permission from the higher-ups at B&M to reveal some information about upcoming Doctor Who action figure sets. So without further ado, here it is in a post. So as we can see, the following sets are expected in September, October 2023. The 5 Doctors 2-pack, Revelation of the Daleks 2-pack, Remembrance of the Daleks 2-pack, new Series Daleks Set 1 2-pack, the Deadly Assassin 3-pack, and the Ultimate Adventure 6th Doctor and TARDIS set. Images apparently do exist, but he's forbidden to share these as the releases aren't completely finalised. They're still subject to change. Ooh, hello. Another post has just come through my laptop, confirming product codes, case sizes, pricing, and more accurate release dates. So you can see the product codes on the left there for your reference. I'm not going to read those out. As the post states, it's great that there will be full cases for most of the sets, as in there will be 12 sets per box shipped to each store. 12 is the max per case, apart from the Ultimate Adventure 6th Doctor and TARDIS set, which is fair enough as that's a bit more niche. Overall, there should be plenty of sets available. Pricing seems to be the same as last year at $21.99 for all the sets except the TARDIS set, which will be $24.99. It appears the 5 Doctor set, Revelation and TARDIS sets are expected to drop in September this year. Then the Deadly Assassin, Remembrance and new Series Daleks sets are due in November. This update seems to confirm what's in the new Series Daleks set 1 already, a standard bronze Dalek and a Dalek sec. Very exciting. Now I expected all 6 of these sets to drop at the same time, but looking at the second post, it seems that they're split between September and November, 3 in each month, which makes you think we're not getting 2 full waves this year. If we look at last year in 2022, we got 4 sets around September time, and then we got another 6 in November, around there. So that sounds a little bit disappointing. Is this due to rising costs or distribution issues? Or more excitingly, could it be that character is diverting resource to make some lovely 60th anniversary online exclusive sets? Or even more excitingly, maybe a full mass retail figure line covering the 60th anniversary specials and the new era of the show with Ncuti Gatwa. We'll have to see. So the information in both these posts are not leaks. Just want to clarify that. And it wasn't last time in 2022 apparently either, which I got wrong in my videos last year. Apologies. Apparently this guy does get permission internally at B&M to share this information on the Facebook group to us hardcore fans. I don't know what character or how Duo makes of this, but it's good for us collectors and gets us speculating about and hyped for new releases. So I don't really know why characters just don't release this sort of information themselves, really. So what to do now, eh? Well, obviously speculate on what figures could be in each set, because it's fun for those haters out there of this sort of video. It's fun, okay? It's fun to discuss this. Kicking off, we have the 5 Doctors set. Yes, another one. We had the 3-pack back in 2021, but since it's an anniversary story, and we're in an anniversary year of the show, it's not a surprise they're doing another set on that story. However, this time it's notably detailed as a 2-pack. So before I get carried away and start naming all the companions in the 5 Doctors, or the Anthony Ainley Master in his proper costume, we have to remember that the 2-packs in this line are reserved for Dalek, Davros and TARDIS releases. And given Davros isn't in the 5 Doctors, and if you have a TARDIS set, it's normally name-checked in the title of the set. This can only lead to one option in my mind. This will be a set including a Death Zone Dalek, along with a Richard Herndl First Doctor. For the Dalek, it only requires some tweaking to a Resurrection Dalek figure with different paint apps and red headlamps. They could use new tooling on the headlamps since they are different than the usual, but they could also get away with not doing it. Obviously I hope they do the former. As for making a Richard Herndl First Doctor, they just need an existing First Doctor figure body and then new tooling for the head sculpt. Also, I've almost forgot they had fingerless gloves in this story. Now they could just raid their primeval figure range for this. They can go and specifically get it off Connor Temple, and that would be a nice extra detail to make this specifically this version of the First Doctor. So why do I think there'll be a Richard Hurndall First Doctor in this release? Well, for a start, he's the only Doctor who meets a Dalek in the Five Doctors. And also, I mean, it doesn't require that much tooling, it's just a new head sculpt. We've seen that done before in this figure line. Plus, of course, we got David Bradley's version of the First Doctor last year. It would be nice to complete all the actors who've portrayed the First Doctor. Plus, also, don't forget, character did make a prototype of the Richard Hurndall First Doctor way back when, over 10 years ago. And given that we've more recently started to see some of these very old prototypes start to come to fruition, like the Terror of the Zygons Fourth Doctor and the Troughton in the Fur Coat, it makes it seem more likely that we probably would get a Richard Hurndall First Doctor in this set. Okay, next is the Revelation of the Daleks 2-pack. Hang on, I hear you cry. What's happened to the Resurrection of the Dalek set? Well, I imagine they're releasing these 80s Dalek stories out of order, like they did with the Evil of the Dalek set, to avoid flooding the market with too many silver blue Daleks. Likewise, I expect character don't want to overwhelm store shelves with loads of similar looking grey black Daleks. Resurrection will no doubt come a bit later. As for what's in this Revelation set, it will simply be a re-release of the grey-black Dalek and the white-gold Dalek from Revelation of the Daleks. Now we're on to the Remembrance of the Daleks 2-pack. Now here I hope they release 2 sets for this story, like they did for Planet of the Daleks, as there are many Dalek variants in this serial. In this scenario, you'd hope they'd do one set with a Renegade Dalek and Supreme, and then another with the Emperor Davros and an Imperial Dalek. If you listen to episode 71 of the Who Corner to Corner podcast featuring Al Dewar and Ed Barnett Ward from Character, you'll know they have found the tooling for the Emperor Davros figure. It was thought to have gone missing, but it's been located, so surely that's getting a re-release. Perhaps they'll just do a straight reissue of the Emperor Davros and Destroyed Daleks set, as that's now super rare and expensive, and they already released a standard Imperial Dalek with Ace back in the Coal Hill School set in late 2020, but that may be pushing the boat out. Oh, what about the Special Weapons Dalek, of course? You could have Emperor Davros and the Special Weapons Dalek. That'd be really cool, but probably to encourage army building, they probably want to put an Imperial Dalek and then the Special Weapons Dalek, or as I said, a standard Imperial and Emperor Davros. Or maybe they'll even do 3 sets dedicated to this story. No, that's probably too much, isn't it, really? But then that would re-release all the Daleks from the story. Who knows? If they do 2 sets for Remembrance of the Daleks, I'm sure the second one would then be released alongside the Resurrection of the Daleks set, probably next year now. I doubt they'll just do 1 set for the story with a Renegade and an Imperial Dalek, as that would just be too similar to the Revelation set. And then there would be no other classic Dalek set to release alongside the Resurrection set, as there's normally 2 per wave. There's normally 2 classic Dalek sets. Next, more Daleks. We have the new Series Daleks Set 1 2-pack. We've finally hit the new series Bronze Daleks at last, which is great news, because it is quite difficult to track down one of those figures at a good price at the moment. It seems that they're giving them a new line for these new Daleks, rather than continuing with the History of the Daleks label. Based on the second post with the figure info, there's no need to speculate here. It's quite clear we're getting a standard Bronze Dalek, which will be welcome to collectors of course, but also, more excitingly, we're getting a lovely black Dalek Sec. This was last seen in the North American exclusive Doomsday set many years ago, and is certainly overdue a re-release. A great set for those who missed out before. Now to the set that intrigues me most, the Deadly Assassin 3-pack. I certainly wasn't expecting a set based on this story, since we have the key figure from this serial already, but certainly I'd be open to more figures from it, as it's a highly regarded classic. Of course they have to include a re-release of the emaciated Peter Pratt Master in the set, but I wouldn't say it was a dead cert that he'll come with his gun and the Sash of Rassilon due to the budget constraint of the set. As for the other 2 figures in this set, my mind immediately darts to making 4th Doctor variants. Perhaps they could create his look from within the Matrix, and when he's plugged into the Matrix, with a big loose shirt, trousers and boots. They could easily reuse the legs from a Season 17 Tom figure, which featured the boots, as do the Season 18 Tom figures actually as well, so you can use them, and then reuse a 4th Doctor head sculpt, then create new tooling for the torso and arms. Potentially they could try and reuse the arms from the Series 3 Master figures, but I think they're too short for Tom. Another option is the 4th Doctor in Time Lord garb. They could take that Time Lord figure released back in 2008 I think, give it a repaint and pop a top head on it. The only issue with that is that the figure is a little short compared to the standard 4th Doctor figure. Perhaps more likely is that they'll reuse the Time Lord figure to make the present of Gallifrey. He could come with the sash of Rassilon. That accessory could be used for both him and the Master actually, so that would be a nice dual purpose. Or maybe they could do Chancellor Goth or Cardinal Barusa. It may be due to budget constraints, they just simply do a repaint of that Time Lord figure, which would be a bit disappointing. Just use more classic Time Lord colours for the robes, slightly orangey colour. Obviously the Chancellery Guard feature very heavily in this story too, but to do them properly you would need to create the figure from scratch, which isn't something they do in this B&M figure line. That's normally reserved for the online exclusives. Since reuse is key to these releases, perhaps you could take the Sontaran figure arms and legs, specifically the lower half of Lynx's legs, and then the waist and upper thighs of Styr, so you don't have the gun holster on the side, and then sculpt a new torso and head plus cape. Sounds a bit tricky, a lot of new tooling. Perhaps you have a better idea, let me know in the comments down below. I think personally, due to budget constraints, they'll probably just go with some sort of reuse of that Time Lord figure. Okay, last but not least, we have, surprisingly, the Ultimate Adventure 6th Doctor and TARDIS set. The key part of this set name is The Ultimate Adventure, which was a 1989 Doctor Who stage play written by Terence Dicks, with originally John Pertwee and then later Colin Baker as the lead, plus it featured Daleks and Cybermen, of course. For more details, I recommend checking out Josh Snare's video about it. Link will be in the description, of course. Obviously, this set is dedicated to the 6th Doctor version of this play, in which he wears a variant of his costume, with a slightly darker red and purple coat, and then horizontal striped multicoloured waistcoat, plus a blue cravat. It'll be a nice variant to have on the shelves, like the Big Finish audio blue costume version that we got years ago. As for the TARDIS, I don't imagine they'll create an entirely new tool to get an exact replica of the much ropier looking stage play TARDIS. I assume they'll just take the existing 5th Doctor TARDIS sculpt, as Colin used the same TARDIS, and then repaint it to match the colours of the stage play version. So it will feature white window frames, the door sign will have a white frame as well. Then they'll just take the 1970s police box sign sticker with the black background instead of the 80s blue background sign sticker, and put those around the top of the TARDIS. So that's it in terms of figure set info, details and speculation, but there is some other news to address before we wrap up. And it's not great news, unfortunately, and it's B&M related, of course, and impacts the figure sets. And that is, frustratingly, the B&M website no longer offers an online ordering system. You can now no longer buy Doctor Who sets or anything else off their website. They have created a separate website for gardening stuff, which you can buy stuff off, but that's no good to us Doctor Who figure collectors. We can now no longer buy Doctor Who figure sets from their website. Retail Gazette ran the story on the 17th of April. The link will be in the description so you can read it yourself. Now this is a big blow for us Doctor Who figure collectors, because it seemed like we had a promising future where fans who didn't live near a B&M store could just buy these sets online. And also, you know, it made it more difficult for scalpers to just hoard sets and then resell them at an inflated price. I used the website myself last year to get the David Bradley First Doctor and Electronic TARDIS set, which was very helpful and saved me another afternoon traipsing around several B&M stores. So it seems dreams of expanding the online ordering facility on the B&M website have been dashed, which is a grave shame, and we're now going back to that yearly frenzied hunt around B&M stores, which personally I'm getting a bit bored of that charade. I mean, it was fun at first, hunting for figures. Whoa, it's fun, and you can see all those videos on my channel, of course. But, you know, as you get older and you've got more responsibilities and less time to do that sort of thing, you're thinking, I'm going to miss out on these sets unless I go out and try and find them. Or if I don't do that, I have to pay some sort of silly price on eBay to get them. It's just, it's getting annoying, really. When you think about most collectible items or high-end figure ranges, like your Black Series, your Marvel Legends, or NECA, or Mafex, whatever it is, those things you normally just buy online. They're normally done through online retailers and you pre-order them, and that's how you get them. You don't really see them physically on store shelves. So I don't see why Doctor Who isn't the same. Why can't characters just put them on their website, or, you know, give exclusivity to some geeky online collector retailer? Just do that. That would be much better for us nerds, because most people going into B&M aren't going to know who Romana 1 and 2 is, or the difference, are they? That sort of thing. So it just seems odd they're in B&M still. Maybe it's time for a change. This could be a whole other video, me ranting, to be honest. Still, let's focus on the good news. We've got some lovely details about upcoming sets this year, a mixture of re-releases, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some nice new figures there for us to add to our collections. Hopefully there'll be some online exclusives as well. It is the 60th anniversary year. Hopefully there'll be at least one, because it's 60th, maybe 2 or 3. Come on, character, give us some really new figures on there maybe. Well, that's your lot. As usual, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click on that notification bell, plus go and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the links shown on screen. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.